6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. The first order of business is the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
all. We will review and approve the minutes of September 3rd. Second, moving to second, any discussion on those? Seeing none, all those in favor? Everybody? Members of the boards, we'll start with Lindsay.
I keep getting asked if we change the light again. People, I guess it's like way longer. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm getting asked that nonstop, and if I can fix it. It's like,
Someone should fix it.
did something change, like, or is it just like brand new?
It doesn't change.
Well, I feel like we had a good run for a while, and I don't know if something happened and it went back, but it does seem like the waits are getting a little bit longer again, and people are,
You're sure there's more traffic?
could be.
It actually, so it skips, it'll leave you in your lane and run the next set. It'll bypass you at least twice.
Yeah.
And there is no rhyme or reason,
Yeah,
day
I
or
keep getting asked
time.
nonstop if like we change it. I was like, well, let's stay, we don't,
I wish I
like, but like,
It's all remotely monitored from the state. I have made a formal request for the left arrow to come over here. They're looking with the other engineers and then the contractor to see if that's a possibility.
Okay.
If not, could they just get a designated green so that they don't replace the whole fixture, you could just get left. What we're seeing is that the Perkins Street northbound is the one that gets skipped constantly.
Yes.
And the Bridge Street coming across isn't long enough because well, it is. It's the same time as the others, but you have a little bit of an incline and the trucks can't make it, so the trucks just pull through the intersection. That's perfect storm. So I watched last week, I think it was before planning board, Perkins Street was covered.
yeah,
One end to the other because the light wouldn't change and the guy was gonna stop. I called, and within 15 seconds of me calling, the light changed. They were able to change that light remotely, so they are aware of it, but it seems to be maybe a sensor camera issue.
yeah, cause we're gonna have like the Depot Street bypass and people who like myself will go take her right near the Grange, then whoopie doopie, sloopy doops, and we're gonna, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're aware of it.
Okay,
Wrong.
The Ward Hill. Now we talked about doing the intersection stuff, so the other end of Ward Hill, Main Street, Madison end, DOT's gonna rebuild that next year. I learned that yesterday, that's gonna be forward stop. With maybe some.
You have 4 weeks.
Island.
Yeah.
On
Really? That's.
Yeah, that came
Wow.
through, I learned that from Lieutenant yesterday after they met with DOT, I guess.
Yeah.
look where that flashy light thing is.
Yes.
Stop that main line of truck.
It's gonna be a four-way stop because out of 23,000 intersections in Maine, that's like the 19th most dangerous one that they've got. And then the other one, which is El Hill and Palmyra, we have a lot over there for a lot of fails on Route 2. That'll become a roundabout in 2020.
No kidding. Wow. That's
Just food for thought that I know we're talking about putting the grooving and stuff in like that, but DOT's gonna step back in and do something on that other end, because the grooving, the little flags, the flashing stop signs, the blinking light hasn't done enough.
we had another one out here the other night,
Did they?
and they must have gotten their truck out of the ditch by themselves. Right.
Hmm.
And they
Yeah.
canceled the fire department.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so we,
Thought I'd throw it out just because we've
that's interesting.
been talking about that a lot, and that just came to, that's, I think it's 2026 next year, that's planned for. And they're just trying to figure out how to do the median, because it's gonna have like a median
Yeah,
type thing to where it comes in and stuff, so we'll see.
that will be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Thank you for that.
I suppose they'd stop that traffic right on that hill like that when it gets to Glendale, huh?
It's a little bit of an incline, that's, yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. They certainly won't do that on our end.
Right.
Because that's a the
Only a
incline.
freeway.
But there has been some fatalities there though.
There you go, yeah, multiple on the other end and a few on our end.
But yeah, I guess there has been, yeah.
You have anything, Jackie?
No, not worth saying.
I just had the same thing on the light. Our end of Ward Hill, I mean, for some reason, what we have is just not adequate. It just still seems to be a problem. And I don't know, if you were able to look at lights at all, a cost associated with the flashing lights.
A cost on the grinding.
Oh, you do, okay, well, you know, then I'll,
$25 a linear foot for grinding.
It's cheaper than I would think, that's
Yeah.
cheaper than like most countertops.
And because the style that we've been recommended is to go in line with your treads as opposed to the full width. It's cost savings in that, because that allows motorcycles to go in between it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, we didn't think
So
of that.
you just where your tire tracks are, that's where you go. And so I've got the price for that in Frederick Corner Road. Very similar, it's like, anyway, well, not similar in that, but high incident. And I'm just waiting on timing. Because they have to obviously send that specialized equipment and there are other jobs in the area, so I have to be patient.
Okay, well then I'll just turn it over to you then, we'll dive right into your town manager's report.
Alright, the Darling's ice cream truck was down at the open house in School Park, they had free ice cream bars, as they usually do in exchange for donations. We got that check back from them, it was $108 that went to Parks and Rec. So thank you to them, no, went out to them when we got the check. Risk reduction grant at MMA, that is a zero match grant, of up to $3,000 once a year, so we've applied for a sewer line inspection camera. That will hopefully support the wastewater department, to help identify issues, but then also help with our own town maintained buildings, which in turn will help ideally reduce any exposure, minimize exposure to our PNC policy. So we'll hear next month how we make out on that. If you haven't heard, here it is, the code enforcement officer resigned last Sunday without notice, so Amy and I are covering the gaps on the code enforcement end of things. Dave Savage is back, serving as licensed plumbing inspector on an on-call basis, so thank you to him, and thank you to everybody else that might need Amy or myself. In the interim, we're pushing permits just the way that we normally would, but we're gonna need some patience there. And then obviously enforcement slows every time we have a gap, but I will be going to court next Monday. I'm gonna shuffle around my schedule. We've got 3 civil cases that are proceeding in court next Monday's afternoon, so I'll be representing the town up there for that. That's
is
the
this the
most.
first time we've actually been able to get to that point with something like this? Like, I feel like, I mean, it's great, it's not great, but like, have we gotten to that point before with any of these things where it actually been in?
First time in a long time.
You have not been to court as long as I've been town manager, and it's in large part because it does not curry the public's favorable opinion when you do it.
Yeah.
And there's a cost associated with it. If you go one, it's doesn't make good sense economically. You might as well get the attorney there and do 3, and it honestly helps people that won't comply because it spreads the attorney's fees across 3 and stuff.
Sure.
So, we're gonna see how it goes, but it is what it is, and we're taking on those high visibility ones, are the ones people are just being egregious and not willing to work with you at all. So that's really the trouble, is when people acknowledge the problem and say, we're not gonna do anything about it.
There's no consequence for it.
Right. Indoor, outdoor shooting range. This is something that a local business person is exploring, on a 47-acre parcel off Waterville Road. He spoke with me, I asked him to roll up kind of what he's thinking and offering, if you will, in terms of control measures. Before he applies or closes on the property, I thought it was the responsible thing to do to send about his notices, to provide feedback to the town and to him, as to what we might be looking at if it went before the planning board. So I sent those notices, I've started getting some feedback back, and I will share that with the prospective applicant. Just as I did the planning board the other day, I will caution, we're not gonna get into that in this form, because with any pending application, we have to be careful. You don't want to violate that applicant's due process, so I'm not taking questions, I'm not taking comments on that. This is strictly informational perspective, maybe an opinion piece for the prospective investor to see what they would have for public perception of the project, so. 2 event specific liquor licenses have been approved since your last meeting, both are for Rita's Catering, both are at 700 River Road, that's the wedding venue. One is September the 24th and the other is October the 4th. Nothing into the late night. The water district has said before the end of this month, Ranger will complete the service work on Main Street. And that will hopefully not disrupt traffic, as they had said. The 2 days of culvert cleaning went fairly well, obviously the second better than the first. And the total bill for that's $43.32, not terrible at all for what we kind of thought we were looking at in the experiment with it. I think that that's a fair price if we can continue to be as productive as we were the second day. Neither here nor there, I am going to send that to the Department of Road Committee to talk about, would they like to repeat that, next year, and if they do, then how we want to budget for that. It's more appropriate that it goes to the operating budget than it does the reserve, because of the maintenance piece, but, we can review that after road committee deals with it. I've also received a number of calls on brush along Wilder Hill. It's growing out into travel lanes, and people are saying, can we cut it back? Can we cut it back? It's kind of something we've lost track of. It's something that our multi-use machine is intended to help us manage. But I called for a price estimate on taking care of Wilder Hill. Do it right, do it all. That cost estimates in the ballpark are 15 to 20,000, depending upon how well it goes. That's the full 3 miles, so 6 lane miles would be covered by that. It's a big nug that we didn't budget for, honestly. So I'm gonna punt that one to the road committee as well and see how they want to consider that. Do you wanna piecemeal it? Do you wanna phase it, get the smaller stuff, the closer stuff, and then go back and do it again? Or how you wanna do that, and then obviously I think we need to look at our priority list for how we would maintain this ongoing, because it's one of those things that. Say you do expend this year, you're gonna find another 3 miles of road to do next year, and by the time you get all the way to the end. You're gonna be starting again. It's one of those things.
You don't think your multi-use machine will take care of that?
It will help with it. It's not going to take care of that mulching, right? I mean, you're gonna put boots in the ditch, you're gonna put boots in the ditch, is what you're gonna do if you don't bring in a mulching arm.
So this is when they're like the roadside mowing stuff, like it can't get to it, or like,
Roadside mowing is a preventative step to avoid this, or to make it
okay,
better.
so we didn't do that and that's why we're in this spot?
No, this is trees, these are trees and branches that have grown out and are too high to be mowed. It's not anything growing in that 8 to 10 foot width. It's stuff that's growing outside of that in the ditch lines that's now canopies expanded, and now that's out to the travel way.
Huh. And then that falls on
behind
the
guardrails,
landowner?
and we don't put
So
behind
like-
guardrails.
Only if it's outside of the,
What if it's from the landowner, like has no responsibility with the encroachment of their vegetation coming into the main public way?
No, there's no landowner responsibility. It's the trade-off of us having the right to cut their
Yeah.
vegetation when it is in the right of way. You can't cut your neighbor's tree, but you can cut the branches that are over your property, kind of a thing.
Okay, and is this something that maybe can be sprayed so we don't have to perpetually keep cutting this and mulching it down? Is it something like that, so we could just,
We could explore that, obviously you need to get it cut down first. But the power line, the utility companies spray customarily, and they'll only spray to their lines, so you get one side of the road. And
yeah,
I don't know if the town wants to be in the business of subcontracting spraying roadside.
well, we're gonna keep having to pay to cut it back, like, I mean, we should probably look at something.
Some people don't like to be sprayed on it, they use that.
Yeah, no, there is that, I just like, if we cut it down, then it's, I mean, that's a big price tag, if we're gonna do that again, like,
I don't know if we can purchase an attachment that allows us to do this with either
That's- that's-
backhoe or our new piece. I don't know what our options are there.
They do.
yeah, for 20 grand, which really is something that.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it doesn't put boots on the ground with chainsaws, you know, someone's in a piece of equipment, I think that's within our scope of what we can do. Certainly at that price, there's some cost savings, but.
Yeah, over time.
Yeah,
If you take care of a section of road every year for ourselves.
Mhm.
Local road assistance program, that is the money that the state shares with the town for maintenance of roads. We filled out and submitted that paperwork, so that's done for the year. Customarily, that money comes in and we just spend it back out as capital improvements. Carter's, they submitted the low proposal for tree removal between the fire station and the Grange. They removed 3 trees. We paid for the one that was on the front corner of the fire department property. The Grange paid for the one that was by their driveway. And we cost shared the one that was in the back left corner of the fire station parking lot, near the corner of the Grange. It was close. We both had an interest, and I was not going to cut it at all. They were willing to cost share, so they were very willing to be at the table and spread, share the 50% cost on that. So that is appreciated, and that was done and cleaned up last week. Looks good. So thank you to them. And then Mrs. Ames Flynn, she is one of the individuals who brought concerns about Sunset View Cemetery and its condition to our attention. And she has responded to the letter that I sent on your behalf. after we met with Kathy Hopkins or whatnot about the trials on different plots. She's very pleased, she extends her thanks, and would like her plot to be included, so I shared that with the cemetery committee, and that will be done. RFP for airport consultants, that's a periodic requirement for FAA, I think it's 5 years, don't hold me to it, but we are at that window, and so I issued that request for proposals, those will be due on September the 25th, and then we'll come back to you for consideration. The tax collection is on par with where we were last year. Personal property is thrown off a bit, I think just because of the due date being on by a couple days. You've got your slate of upcoming meetings. TIF committee is not meeting this month, they have nothing to act on. And the airport advisory is bumped, it was the 22nd, it's now the 29th, because the 22nd I've got to go to Skowhegan. You've got some upcoming community events, and then later on, after your next meeting, but I peeked down the line, we'll be closed 2 days within a week of each other in October, one for the convention.
Nice, thank you. Number 6 here, discussion action on September 17, general warrant number 17.
I will move that we approve general warrant number 17 in the amount of $237,254.60.
Second.
The second, any discussion on that?
Is the ECD Environmental Services, that like a cleaning?
That's the culvert cleaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And the perfect base program, I'm guessing that's for the TIF,
That's TIF reimbursement.
the building looks great, by the way. That looks so nice.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
I love the window in the end. That-
Oh, yeah, down here, yeah, that looks good.
Very nice, very nice. They are doing a fun, building that.
That's kind of thinking, I thought that tip was really far, something like that.
And we
Yeah.
didn't get charged for any of their actual like home labor. But $4,000 on Hickerson, is that just like a payment for the normal like
That's
contract?
contract closing
Okay.
out, like, it's October contract.
And it's,
Oh, Vortex Services?
I don't know on that.
Vortex is, did we pay Vortex?
35.
Cleaning to clarify. Thank you.
For what?
Cleaning to clarify the sewer plant. Guess I had to sign another contract. That didn't think we repaid it.
And the sports field. Well,
The repairing of the field.
okay, all right,
57-degree set.
good.
Yeah, you guys had approved that back a while.
And is it done?
Yeah, the first substantial phase is done, and they're gonna come back in the spring and make sure that everything's settled in the way that it is before we finish off with the grass.
Perfect.
Excellent. Anything else for discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Number 7 here, discussion action on September 17th airport warrant number 9.
I like this one. I know that we approved this one, for warrant number 9, it's $752.45.
I'll second. Motion and second. Any discussion on that?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. All in favor?
Why is it so, there's no payroll in here? Why is that? What's that?
Payroll is set aside.
Okay.
We pay, you sign payroll over here. And then that gets rolled in periodically. There's no power bills, there's no stuff, so you got shelter, and there's no fuel bills. Usually the 30 days time we get that, but we front loaded fuel for sewer days.
Well, I talked to you for everyone in favor, so we'll, sorry, go with that. Public comment. Anything for public comment out there?
Anything that you mentioned so far? So,
Anything at all, whatever your heart desires, Sean, is it?
my name is Scott Courier, I live up off Beach Hill Road, off Independence Drive. The Skowhegan has, opened up ATV trails this year.
Yes.
At a cost of tens of thousands of dollars and a lot of work, and essentially it got closed down in early September because an employee, I guess, of the town of Norridgewock went over on the damn Crowley's land and took pictures of his on an ATV and took pictures of his property. And so apparently, is that one of the court cases that you're taking on Monday?
I'm just gonna kick that to Richard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a note, let him continue his 2 minutes of public comment, and I'll get at everything when he's done.
Well, the man's old, is for, essentially, we're, the Skowhegan stump jumpers right now is all the trails are closed down because of it. They'd like to get them open, I would like to get them open. I am a budding landowner, the trail goes about a mile around my property, on the border of my property. And what is there any, apparently the ordinance is for having, the violation was for having old cars and stuff like that there. That nobody can see because he lives down in the woods in a discontinued road. I'm assuming that the ordinance, the spirit of the ordinance is to make it so that there's not a bunch of junk as people drive by and see junk. Well, nobody drives by the old county road. It's not even a town maintained road. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and we don't, I went to your meeting yesterday, and there are no other landowners. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to move things around the old county road. So there are expensive bridges that have been built. It was, you know, spring and summer's worth of work. And that you guys are gonna be losing commerce here because of that. Because now, you know, I can go from my yard down Beach Hill Road and come to here, since last year. And I was kind of happy that I could go over to Scout Egan as well, go to T&B's and have lunch, you know, and dinner. And things like that, but now everything's closed right down, even downtown, because what they had agreed to in Skowhegan 3 years ago for this was that they would let downtown be open to ATVs, but it has to go somewhere. The trail has to go somewhere, and now it doesn't go anywhere. They don't want just a bunch of ATVs going from neighbor to neighbor. But I do know that when I attended the opening of it, that there were a lot of people that came up from Waterville, and, you know, they came up through this trail system to get to there, because it was an exciting thing, and now it's nothing. And I donated some money, and I'm a member of the ATV club, which is now the ATV club, that you can't use an ATV, but, I just don't want to put that out there.
Okay.
Or to try and work with you and do whatever you can, but if he's old and he doesn't understand a lot of stuff, and and he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of money, and, you know, he's always been kind of a recluse down in there.
I'm gonna interrupt, because I don't think he's here, so we don't get to have a talk about people that are here.
I wish he was here.
Okay, so, I'm gonna take it from the top, and that is, the court case on Monday is not that, there's a violation on Depot Street, Upper Main Street, and one on Waterville Road.
Okay.
It is not that, that is just in its very initial stages. Number two, the employee that was mentioned, did not take photos, a town employee did, it was the code enforcement officer. Went out in, their vehicle, for which the town pays expenses related to it, and took the photos to send them to the landowner. I'm not gonna sit and defend why we didn't knock on a door versus taking pictures and sending the certified, but that's not the point. The unfortunate fact is that it's not a local ordinance that governs junkyards. Town actually repealed the ordinance related to junkyards 2 or 3 years ago, maybe
I remember when
more.
it come up because
It's-
the balance at a neighbor.
So that's different, that's going to be a junkyard, it's going on Monday, but the junkyard ordinance was repealed and we rely solely on state statute. And I'll tell you what the state statute doesn't care about. How something looks. State statute for the purpose of junkyards is more about the environment and your neighbors. And when you have a large number of vehicles, you have piles of equipment and things like that, those pose a threat to the environment, and aquifers on which it may or may not sit. So regardless of how the town became aware of this violation, a Google Earth, an aerial assessment would have clearly shown that there was a violation on the property. There are ways you can permit a junkyard legally, you can shield it. And then you can come forward with an application, it's a $50 fee, it's not very expensive. If you're not on an aquifer. I don't wanna get too far out into the weeds, but I'm gonna wrap it up. I understand the landowner's concerns, maybe background and obstacles to compliance. Our goal is not to take people to court, our goal is to work with them. And it's also my understanding that the local clubs have offered assistance, manpower, women power to go out there and assist with the property cleanup, and the landowner's been resistant. And so that's just a frustration from my office. Because our goal is not to take people to court, our goal is compliance. You have a junkyard, we wanna figure out how we can get you to clean that up. Because it's not about, it is about the way that it looks to an extent, that's why your neighbors feel and whatnot. But you have a vehicle that doesn't have fluid strain and things like that, that poses another threat and another risk. We want to help people get cleaned up, and when you clean up your yard, it helps everybody, in multiple levels, and so. I understand that this landowner is resistant, and unfortunately, it very likely in the next 12 months, we'll end up in the same place that the next 3 are going. If we offer the resources, we encourage compliance, and then we don't see it. Because we can't continue to send the message that state law doesn't matter, we're going to ignore it. So it's unfortunate about the trail, that cuts both ways, it's just as much of a harm to Skowhegan as it is to Norridgewock's economy. It was something good that worked. But unfortunately, the landowner has decided that his lack of compliance with state statute is what he's gonna trade off for public access across his land. And he has every right to do that. Town is trying to facilitate a solution. The landowner,
And
property
that's what
owner.
the ATV club wants.
Yeah, and that's been complicated, I don't know which club you belong to, but it's been complicated by the fact that a lot of people have spoken with the property owner and overcomplicated the situation. One person's promising something, somebody promises another, nobody delivers. And so I know there were dust concerns, there were speed concerns, there were signage concerns. And so those are all just things that kind of compound and pile on to this unfortunate situation where we're at. If you know the landowner, reach out to them, encourage compliance, encourage camaraderie, that I have a group of 20 volunteers that will be out there to help them. And we can help get this done without another certified letter. It's very easily done, but they have to be willing, and I'm not sure if they are.
And they're not tied to
I
it.
think it depends on the day, because whether or not there's cognitive.
I don't wanna get into that, I'm just saying that the town was willing and able to encourage and support compliance. And we have people that are also there, people like yourself, that find interest in that trail. And the healthy environment that surrounds it, that are willing to help mitigate a junkyard abuse. And that's where we're at.
But in no means are they tied to each other. Trail being opened isn't from compliance and trail being closed.
He blamed the
Compliance
ATV.
isn't a choice.
Someone
The trail being
put on
open.
an ATV, he said, and he talked to them and they took pictures. And they reported it to the code enforcement officer. or whoever.
Technically it's hearsay unless you're hearing it right from the horse's mouth, so it's
I can tell you who they said it was.
that's not necessary, and please don't name names.
Sure.
I'm very much sure.
I'm sure other people would like to know.
But again, I can't really have that, because none of those parties are here, it really isn't the platform. Nor can we discuss employees without an executive session or anything like that, so. Yeah, so if there's anything else under public comment, please reach out to the landowner on that, and we got someone behind you.
Okay,
Property at 640 Madison Road
Yes.
is about done.
Yes, I had heard, someone told me earlier today, I can't thank you enough. I'm glad to see that move forward. So,
Cost me $2,000.
really, yeah. Then you have somebody come right in and crush it,
I had to,
yeah,
I couldn't get anybody to let it help, so
yeah,
I hired it out.
yeah. I was curious to see if the burning was gonna able to work or not with the fire department and stuff. I was
I had the fire department the other day to look it over. They're fine with everything.
Really, excellent, nice, I can't thank you enough,
They
really.
said, we don't need to be here if you're not gonna burn it with the fire department. I said, I wanted to tell the town people that you inspected it and it's okay.
Good, again, thank you so much, and it's always, it's compliant.
The hole's not filled in yet, I got a contractor gonna fill the hole in.
Nice.
I mean, it's not too deep, it's only 60 yards, he said.
Yeah, did you salvage anything, or did you crush it all?
Huh?
Were you able to salvage any of the building, or did you crush everything?
No, everything.
You did, okay, yep,
I mean, I got a few 2x laying there, I got a pile of stuff laying, construction material.
Yep.
Some electrical stuff, a couple pieces of roofing. Some half a dozen 2x, that's it.
nice, excellent. Yeah, again,
Otherwise than that, everything's gone, flat.
no, thank you for coming in with the update and moving forward, I really can't thank you enough, really.
So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Anything else for public comment? Seeing nothing, we'll move forward. Number 9 here, public hearing on general assistance ordinance and, penances. That's not correct, but you know what it should say.
Appendices.
Dependencies, there you go.
Are we just looking to accept the changes as written or?
No, we have to open public hearing, we just did it 6:30. And the public hearing is on a revised ordinance, which incorporates all of the statutory changes that went through the legislature in the last session. And then also, the big thing that doesn't affect us, but affects the ordinance, is 26 beds or over recovery houses, have been included as well. So I did not incorporate the full ordinance in your deck because it's substantial, but what I did do was include your maximums, which are your income guidelines, and the maximum benefits on the other side. And there's slight upticks on a lot of things, but some of the things have stayed flat as well, so nothing obviously has gone down last year over this year. The general assistance ordinance and appendices are effective October 1st of each year until September 30th of the following, and this is an annual thing. So I'd be happy to take any questions or comments about that, and if there are none, that would conclude the public hearing.
Like, we don't have any like road control like as a town to like change, this is like, it's just set, we just have to adopt it, right?
Town has the ability to increase maximums at its own expense.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't totally realize that,
I knew that we couldn't decrease whatever this was set, but.
but you could increase them.
You can't feel sorry for somebody.
Did we have any draws over this past year on this?
Minimal.
And was it just heating related, or did people fall for electricity as well?
I couldn't tell you right offhand, but it's usually electricity. The rent is difficult because there are so many dots have to be connected with the landlord and not evicting the period of time and whatnot. But one of the biggest obstacles to the program is your maximum income allowance, and that's really the top left. So if you make $1,200 a month in your household of 3, you don't qualify for this program unless it's a severe emergency. So then we look to try other programs that you might be eligible for to see if that will help bridge the gap. But we can't help with electric bills if it's not gonna guarantee they won't shut off. Usually by the time we see somebody, the power company wants thousands of dollars, and we can't do that. And the other,
Like I did see the person filling up the generator today.
I think we all witnessed that today.
I anticipate that being someone who wasn't capable of working, but if that's the case, so that was, when I saw that, I was surprised to think.
other things that will exclude you are, did you create your own emergency? So did you have a place to live and then you left by your own free will? You're not gonna be eligible. If you had a job and you quit, or you were fired for cause, no matter what your need is, you're not eligible for the program. And then you get a disqualification period. So those are things that usually when we see difficult circumstances, that there's a disqualification somewhere along the line.
I move that we accept the new, no,
There's
Public comment.
Oh, any public comment on that? No? Okay,
So
close, and do you need any?
now we take a motion to adopt the ordinance for purposes.
so moved.
Motion is second, no discussion amongst the board, seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Yeah, we already did discussion action, yes.
Yep, yep.
Right, number 11, your discussion action on appointments for the library building committee.
So this is gonna be a two-parter. The first is a document that I drafted, which is a description of the library building committee. I gave purpose, composition, and membership that we had discussed at the last meeting, and what the expectation would be for the committee to produce and deliver, and with an approximate timeline. Jean had looked at this, Jean Lane had some chair of the board, and kind of looking at our target dates in terms of, is this gonna be a 5-year process for exploring or whatnot? We thought that June was a reasonable deliverable time. Happy to take feedback on this. One of the key things that we thought important to include was the appendix A, which is a document that the trustees had drafted back, I think it was last October, November, presented to the board in December, of the key things that they were looking for in the library, that we've shared with consultants to date, and that we would want the committee to look at and consider as they go along. So that is a part of the committee task, if you will. Did you have anything else on the committee description or anything?
No, I thought what you drew up was very good.
Same, we, everything that I see on that.
Yeah, no.
Don't see any issues with it, no.
So if we have a motion to approve the building committee description,
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion for you guys on that? Seeing none, all those in favor?
so everybody, if you flip a couple pages further in the same section, you'll see your slate of candidates. For each category of committee composition, the only one that doesn't have one is this board here. And we can move those in mass if that's what you're like to do. Or you move them individually.
Move them in mass.
Yeah,
Like.
yeah, I see them there. Yeah.
And I know that for me, I mean, if there's anybody else that's interested, by all means, we can talk through it, but I would definitely like to be on this board as representative for the select board.
Yeah, I mean, I would, but I'm so biased that I don't think I would be objective. I plan to be at 90% of these, and if you can't make something, I will definitely be there. But as much as I can, I'll be there. But I'm pretty biased, so I'm not really objective, so.
Feel like I'm like right in the middle. Sounds
Yeah,
neat.
yeah,
Too
yeah.
expensive, so maybe they'll do.
So the slate of candidates would be Jean Lancaster, Roger Collin, Richard LaBelle, Lindsay Lynch, Jeffrey Jones, Sheila Levitt, and Deanna Missouri.
I move that we approve said candidates for the library building committee.
Second, motion is second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
You mean you made the motion? didn't you?
Yeah. Never, and then I gave up voting for myself, I vote for myself, the town thinks too.
Number 12 here, discussion action on property maintenance, contracts.
So this one is, I'll say slightly unusual, but kind of not really. We have Nickerson that does our property maintenance. They've done it for the last 5 seasons. It hasn't been a bid out in the last 5 seasons. In large part because they held the price until I think this last year. And the price was, you know, over the, it was I think 8 or 10%. Over the course of the life of the contract, it wasn't bad. And so. Anyway, fine, they do a great job for us. But there was a lot of interest last fall and winter about this contract. People wanting to price match, people wanting to beat. And I'm not in a position to be able to decide that, so, anyway, I have revised this and brought it to you to see if you want to move forward with bidding this out. I don't have a price from them for next season. I usually get it at the conclusion of this contract, but.
I don't think that'd be fair for us to not allow other people to.
5 years is a long
Plus,
time.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we kind of said, what is it, 20 or 25,000, anything over that, we're supposed to be bidding on anyways, and like, we haven't been because it was in the best interest of the town, but.
Yeah, well, it's stayed flat, like Richard said,
Yeah.
it stayed flat, and it's hard to rebid something when they're beating a flat price. As we know, everything goes up every year, so to have something stay the same was refreshing. But I mean, after 5 years, it is the right thing to do, especially with a lot of interest in that contract. So I see no issues with it going to bid, does anyone else?
Has there been any issues with their work?
No,
No,
but communication is great, they do it, but usually, you know, we continue bids at length because. Oftentimes bidding something out doesn't work in your favor because nobody's interested. But there's been a lot of interest in this contract.
Price with the cemetery stuff, have we have like things not getting cut? Not that we had gotten some issues, but maybe I'm thinking about something else.
Cemetery maintenance largely turf related and what's there for material, it's not more related. We've had them in the past, I pick up the phone and it's taken care of. Yeah. I will just note, because I'm gonna ask you for a motion on this, if that's what you want. I added number 24 on your map, which is the empty lot on Mercer Road next to the school. So,
Oh,
you'll
okay,
consider the
yep.
contract, and make sure that's done. I was tempted to build the school into it, because they're not doing it. They don't maintain their property, but, you know. Maybe I'll call the superintendent.
So, yeah.
So when will this bid, when will you bid that?
I'm gonna bid it within the next week or two,
Yeah.
and leave it open for 30 to 45 days, depending upon your meeting schedule. And then that gets us a number in time for budget.
So you're looking for a motion to put the,
To issue the request for proposals.
so
Motion,
Second,
second, any further discussion?
the only thing, just a 1 year is why it's in there.
It's
Or do we
always
want-
in 1 year with an option to, if both agree, then we'll continue.
Again, if somebody wants to come in and keep it flat, 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 it makes it really hard to put it back up to bid.
It's not even the fact that they kept it flat, really, at this point, it's not the cost, it's the fact that there's a lot of interest in
Mhm.
this contract.
Sure.
And when you've got competition, it's oftentimes in your best interest to.
So go ahead.
Right, but if we're gonna do a contract and we're only gonna do it for 1 year, shouldn't that go back out to bid every year? Unless we make it a 3 year,
It
Or something to that
technically
effect.
should go back out to bid every year.
And
Like
not
I said,
just
by our
renew
own
what happened.
policy, it is supposed to.
right?
Yeah.
But if we make it like a 3 year,
My only worry with that is when you get a low bidder, then I don't,
Might not be able to maintain.
do it, they may not,
well,
you know, provide the
if
cut
they
that we're looking for.
put a clause in there that covers if you're not, that work's not acceptable, the town can do away with the contract based on that.
So there's a provision in this that says. The town has, with mutual agreement, the select board and the contractor could agree to an extension of the contract. And there's all the provision for breach of contract.
Yeah, I'd say just keep it at the 1 and just kind of sit, we're gonna be doing something. That's what we have kind of written and we not necessarily stayed with
They don't
that.
have to be
I will
bonded,
stay
right?
with it and see.
Carry liability.
Yeah.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah, I just say if we're gonna bid something, I think it should be every year. If you're gonna do it by year, then every year can go out to bid. If that's the thing, not just renew because I like one person or no.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, you know, even if it's, because at this point, why would we put it back up to bid?
I think that's what, I don't think that there are many, like, you were begging John to try to bid on, he's like, I don't want it, so we didn't really have anything, so to take their. To renew it, it wasn't a big deal, but I think now that we do have a lot more local people interested in it, I think we might have to do it each year. I just think that we didn't have that same
Right.
situation
No, I agree.
before, there were people clamoring to do it before, there were people like, I don't want to. Like, I just, from experience, I know that was going on, so I think if we've got options, we explore them every year, and if we don't, then we deal with that as it comes, I guess, I would be.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a motion second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Discussion, action on junkyard permit renewal for Sonnet.
I'm assuming still, again, they've always complied with everything, we've not had any complaints, they're doing everything, doing a good job, so I move that we renew the application for Sun Auto and Salvage,
And my public hearing.
and wait public hearing at 586 Covington Road.
I'll second that.
Motion second, any discussion? I was just up there the other day, they do a good job, okay, they do be, yeah, I'm really pleased. So without any other discussion, all those in favor? That's everybody. Number 14 here, discussion action on amendments of computer use policy.
All right, so the computer use policy is moving in on 10 years old, which means that things have changed a little bit. And so I have provided you with a red line and a clean copy of what we've got. It deals with portable devices, it deals with phones, and really anything else that deals with outside people accessing our network. Just kind of incorporating everything that they're building on, and the updates to technology as a whole. So I'd like it to move away from computer and move to technology policy. And then at the end, obviously, there is a very clear cut, which is, doesn't, it, in writing, it doesn't need to be, but employees should understand their right or lack of privacy. And then to really list off the prohibitions of what we're looking to avoid from employees. So I don't think anything's really a surprise, but it does put things, I think, a little bit more formally in writing, and that's not a bad thing. Especially with everything going on social media.
Yeah.
And so I was able to say, well, you just posted that, and you were at the office. Cool.
Yeah.
This button. And I haven't had that, but you know, it's only a matter of time. And yeah,
I think when I looked at this, the only thing that I saw that I was like, it looks like we crossed out games are considered inappropriate in a business environment, therefore not permitted. Now we're saying games are cool and permitted.
no, you're right, but I also didn't think that when you consider everything else that's on the list, that that merited being
Yeah,
incorporated into it.
sometimes you just need some block blast to like try to get through the day, right?
Sometimes, if you need 10 minutes to do that, I don't blame you.
Alright, I was just, I thought it was funny, I was like, was there something specific why we needed to make sure that that came out? What are you doing, Richard, at your desk to be?
No.
Alright, now I am fine with the new amendments as written, I move to approve them as written.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, that's everybody. Let's see here, number 15, discussion action on Maine Municipal Association voting delegate.
I will move to, appoint Richard Lavelle and Amy Robinson as our Maine Municipal Association voting delegates for the town of Norridgewock.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Thank you for doing that, and all of those in favor. That's every. Just you right. Other business, so you have anything for other business?
Yeah, I do, if we could add discussion, just so, discussion action on donation, the motion of that, either of those.
So moved.
Motion second, all those in favor? It's everybody.
You, we received an $84 donation to go toward winter heat assistance, from the Somerset County Democratic Committee, that was collected in Lucille.
I'll move to accept that.
Nice. Second. Yep. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, and thank you to them.
And then I just have one more thing for conversation at this point, or maybe not. The Ferry Road relocation.
Oh, yeah.
That's been bogged down. IFW doesn't really want us to cut trees. They want us to complete an archaeological survey of the entire property.
Keep it right.
Give me strength.
There were concerns about bats, but we had bats when we did the boat launch.
Why?
And
Bats.
bats. They're dangerous.
All kinds of bad houses for the bats.
Yeah,
I wanna go swimming today.
so anyway,
When can we go swimming again?
I'm almost to the point where
The hell with it.
we just got another project away. I sent email to our engineer and said, grow one. And sorry, that was probably not what I should have said, but when say that, I should have said that here, but I mean, come on, are we just gonna push over to a bunch of bureaucrats? What we're trying to do is we're taking a gravel road that comes off from a main throughway that takes a straight shot down a slope and into a body of water. And we're looking to cut it off, mitigate the slope, meander it down through, get rid of that non-point source pollution to protect the resource. And I don't have the support for that.
With an oddly similar project, a half a mile down the road that did almost the same thing. That didn't seem to have issues being approved.
Right, so there's federal money implications here, and I don't know, but the archaeological thing, the way that the letter from historic preservation was written was. We recommend, and I said, I appreciate your recommendation, let's keep moving. And then now it's IFW doesn't want us to cut any more trees within the 250-foot area. I said, but don't they understand we're gonna be revegetating
Yeah.
in existing, so I'm frustrated. And so I don't know what your feelings are, but I'm opposed to. From my position, I think it's ridiculous that we would conduct an archaeological survey. I think it's ridiculous that we would restrict ourselves from cutting trees when we have a plan to revegetate. I think it's ridiculous that all of these hoops are being jumped through when we're actually, what we're doing will ultimately improve the safety of the area and will mitigate our impact on the Kennebec River. Salt, sand, runoff, all of that will be not in the river, and instead right now we've got a water slide, you know, right down that road into the river. And I'm struggling with it, so, that came in late yesterday and I need some perspective from you guys.
I'm
So
curious,
it's
like,
gonna get costly.
just like the domino effect of how to get to the archaeological dig, I mean. Was there like a past precedent of finding something like that in a very close proximity to this area, or is this just, it feels a little left field? Or is this like a natural trigger when this happens, then it automatically does this sort of thing, or is this just like,
And what does that
have we
mean?
found a
What does that
random
consist of?
person that's like Richard LaBelle? And we are going to give you all of the letters with all the seals on it, like.
So it's, right, it's bureaucrats in Augusta that this is their business. And if they don't do this, then they don't have a problem. But
And this is for any road.
the town, I think in the past has made the mistake of caving before. Don't know when, but they've done surveys in part of the park before. They have not found anything. And now these people in Augusta have said, we have a predictive model that indicates there may be something here because of its proximity to the river.
Where else?
And there's a part of me that says, well, don't rivers move? Go look there, but I'm struggling with it because there's so much bureaucracy coming down. Because everybody knows that we've got federal money and the Maine Historic Preservation Commission, you know, who. Took a rock that we found in the cemetery and turned it into this piece that we're gonna encase and that's wonderful, but.
It's
Should
just
the
a-
town incur tens of
Yeah,
thousands of dollars?
came in here, we got it from one of the cemeteries,
I think she was, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, right.
You were.
Oh, okay.
Wanna, yeah.
So I,
What does it consist of, and what's the cost, and what does it typically get paid for out of?
so, right now I've paused, I don't know how much it costs. I know that it's going to be a pretty substantial project, given the size of the area, it's to the road to the right, all of that area to the property line. And I would assume that it's going to be people in there with shovels and probably some, okay. It's not laser technology, but whatever, subsurface technology, is there anything down below you?
So we would have to pay for their,
But is that
Geological
federal
under.
funds,
Yes.
or is that, right, is that?
So we are going to have, I paused because we didn't want to spend any money on this, to be quite honest with you. But. Our consultant then has to go to HUD and find out, is this an eligible expense to move ahead? And then we have to go get 3 prices for it and figure out how much it's gonna cost us. If I had to guess, we're probably gonna be looking at 50. Or more.
Is that road that much of a problem now? We gotta go through all that.
It's not that it's a problem, it's the money that we got from the federal government was intended to take our local roads and minimize the impact that it has on the rivers. And so, it was really rooted in Father Alamo, we didn't know how we were gonna repair that,
Right.
because we had a price tag of $1 million. And then it came in differently, so it was that, then it was Sandy River, and so we've done what that money was intended to do.
Can you take
Now find a road that,
one up a Main Street?
well, we can't do anything with like river roads, that's a state road, 'cause that honestly is one, if you look at that from the river, like that's got the most erosion coming into that, but like we wouldn't do anything because it's a state road.
Right.
That's too bad, cause that, I mean.
How much
look at that, like,
you got
everyone's
left of
gonna
it?
fall out.
I don't even have a total for you right now.
Fairly substantial.
Right, we have Bigelow Hill that's on the horizon.
But that's not a,
Everyone
but
goes,
that,
I've
but that's not the river though,
great
is it?
community support for the new entrance and exit, as well as it solves a, I mean, it's not a blind spot, but I mean, it is a drug use problem area. And that brings that to the forefront of where you drive in. Every car that drove into our park now would shed light upon that area that is a problem. As well as if you attended our Sula days, the amount of cars that park
Was
on
congested.
the ferry road, and it's not fair to the business for that business to be parked in, and if you notice, they did at one point have no parking signs out around their business. I don't know if they were actually open that day or not,
They had a truck coming to.
They did, okay.
Yeah.
and I know they've been supported, but we asked a lot of them, and I really feel like the community was fair, everyone I spoke to loved the idea of this project. I don't like the idea of the booths, but if it's federal money that.
if we're gonna find something cool digging, dig it out, like.
I actually find that piece fascinating as well, and if it was, I would want that to be uncovered and, discovered and either displayed or put somewhere where it should. And I don't know if any of the local colleges have anything of that nature or would be a resource.
Yeah,
to us.
they maybe do it.
So I don't wanna rule it out, and I don't wanna waste taxpayer money.
Right.
But if these are, and it's not a waste, if it's federal dollars, and we're just going to have to return them, well, then I would say it's money well spent.
So we wouldn't return it. We would go spend it somewhere else.
Provided we're able to find it, I'm sure we're
With the
able to.
perimeters.
Right, well, Bigelow Hill Road, no, Bigelow Hill Road is not on a river, but it's within a river shed, and it is a gravel road. And it has made the cut so far by road committee and by this board to be included in that appropriation,
And now we pave it.
yes.
Boy, I almost feel like I should bow myself out because I know what I would want done more than that, but.
I think I would like to see a price.
Hmm.
I realize that these are hoops and may sound silly,
And would
but
there be any support from our local representatives?
I would think there would be some.
To
Right.
some lobbying on our behalf?
Yeah,
Or,
maybe less red tape, or maybe some, I don't know, additional state funds to help, or state college to help with this archaeology, piece.
So here's my question, Bigelow Hill, like, have we allotted funds in a timeline to have that paid with our road committee money?
no, the road committee had put this at the very bottom of their list because the residents of Bigelow have signed a petition and said they do not want to pay.
Yes,
I thought there was a bunch of hubbubaloo about, was it really, or was it this, or?
It was legitimate, then they submitted, the neighborhood submitted another petition.
That they did
A
want?
couple years ago. And with the exception of two people, I think, on that petition, they were the same names, said they didn't want to pay.
and now it is
Now they want
8 times the price that it was when we originally proposed it.
Originally,
After the design, everything was done to have it.
and they could have done that
And
then.
the residents stopped us. So to come back and ask for it is kind of like a slap in the
Right.
face to everybody.
Well,
Because-
the only thing I will say to that is, in that time frame, there's been business buildup on there and the traffic has increased significantly.
But not
I drive
that
road-
much, I mean.
No, Chucky, I drive that road every single day. There was a significant amount of traffic on that road.
The business that's there that drives any of that traffic is on the other end, and if the condition of that road bothers one, you could go around and access it from Scarlet. Candidly, when I go to that place of business, that's the way I go, because it's paved with the exception. of-
I think that road should be paved, and if we're gonna pay it with Norridgewock town money, why wouldn't we use the federal money, like?
The
That's,
Norridgewock Road Committee has said they don't want to move that road up ahead, everybody else has been waiting in line. Because they had their chance 12 years ago to pave the road.
And it could have been done so much cheaper when they were
It
breaking
would
the
have been,
business.
it was built so that, not only was it ready for it, but they went back and they modified the design of everything of that road to remain gravel. After the neighborhood came in and did, so there was incremental cost at the time for engineering to do it. And now here you are, 10, 12 years later, and well, 10, and now they want it paved. The
Yeah.
road committee stands by, we recommended this, the road committee, the select board at the time recommended this. How is it right and fair that they would be bumped ahead of everybody else when they had the chance, and they said, no, thank you.
and I like the people who live on a road are the ones who get to decide if it happens versus like all of the town people who have to travel the road. I pay taxes and I'm sick of my car getting crushed to
Swap your
shit.
calendar back to 12 or 13
You
years.
can't do that, that's not a
Right.
possibility, but it is a possibility to pave it now and not keep
The
ruining our
vast
vehicles.
majority of the residents on that road were there when it was put through the first time.
Same.
Yes. Yeah, but
So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but we don't make a habit of this board of jumping over other committees' recommendations. And the road committee is very passionate about keeping the course. And it's only because of this incremental money from the federal government that it's even back on the table, or it would be at the bottom of the list, below Red Barn.
yeah, but we do have that extra money and you've got like the towns that are going out there having to grade that because, I mean,
This money
Yes.
from the federal
I think
government.
Rich was trying to say that we have other roads that have been on that
I would
list.
rather maintain a current road than create an entirely new one to spend that money on.
The money from the federal government has a portion of it allocated for Bigelow Hill. We are out there, there's survey work being done, there's a short section of reconstruction being done, on that road. And it will be put up to bid and it'll hopefully be paid next year. But if the money gets reallocated somewhere else, then there's no support from your local road committee to put local dollars on that road. And I think it'd be hard pressed to find a majority vote from this.
It would knock a Tahoe off its sideways, it gets so bad.
Slow down.
Right,
So will Main Street right there, the lights.
Honestly, that's one of the biggest concerns we get from that neighborhood is.
The speed limit's only 30 miles an hour up there.
People that, it's not the people that live there, it's the people that patronize the businesses. And they feel that they can go 45 or 50 over the washboard and then it throws dust and everything else. That's
You can go
the,
20 and it's dusty though, it is, I mean.
but that's the source of that road resident. That those residents are feeling this way because of traffic that isn't inherent to that neighborhood.
Well, and
It's
we
folks
always
like
want new
you,
businesses
right?
coming in, cause that's
I
new
get that.
tax dollars, we never wanna discourage business and people traveling through our town for businesses though, right? That is not how we do stuff, so
However, that business was in existence when this road was voted. in.
businesses grow,
They-
right?
They appreciate that, however, it was still a dog boarding facility when this project, because it was a facility before I came here. And when I signed off on Bigelow Hill Road being done. So, clock says there was a business there before.
There, it, just like 12 years ago, Lynch Landscaping was there, but it was a significantly smaller size than it is now, so when businesses grow, as a town, we support those
One
businesses.
might want to be careful when you talk about permitting expansions of business with insufficient infrastructure, because that's a reason to decline the permit for expansion.
But they have, it's just more traffic on the road, why would we not take care of a road, this makes no sense to me. I get what you're doing, like right now, and like, we can keep going back and forth, but like, at the end of the day, it's a Norridgewock road, it's a crap road. And like, regardless of where it is and what.
That road there, when Al Cray lived there in the spring, he parked his car clear down to 139 and walked in
A
there.
road is.
So that, talk about the road being better.
Oh,
And he lived up there with a dog kennel is. So that road is so much better than
It
it
is
was.
better, but like, if we can. Mitigate
I,
the cost.
I
of
think that, I
taxpayers,
haven't really talked to Beth, but I think she almost turned business away, so I don't think it's really killing her business.
No, it's not killing our business at all, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Can't
I'm
really
just saying-
speak to somebody else's business, that
No,
business
that's
owner
not
isn't
what I'm
here to
yeah.
talk about their business, and I don't think
No.
we should either. We're talking about the road,
The road,
it is on a list. It's just, when the road committee brings it to us, we'll act on it, but we are not, as a board, gonna overstep the road committee or push a road to
is
the
the road
front.
committee pushing the ferry road?
I'm not totally sure where they
The
went.
road committee is supporting the ferry road project with federal dollars. The road committee is not endorsing any ferry road project with local dollars. They have an understanding that there might be a residual overrun because of the budget. But they're not supportive of a ferry road project unless there's federal money. That is the same classification as Bigelow Hill Road.
Speaking of roads, is the Wilder Hill Road still on? The Wilder Hill Road project, that's still in the green,
Yes, it was polls, it was everything else, I had contract signing, I should have included this, the contract signing 2 weeks ago. And they are hopeful that they're gonna get it done and paid before winter.
I see
They're gonna get all the work done, and I've signed an extension for substantial completion of May 30th of 26 for, payment.
I see they took the poles up the other day, I mean, I didn't think there was any problem, but I just.
It's, supply of material. Like coring something, and don't ask me what it is, 'cause I'm
What?
not a manager. There's a piece of material that they need and it gets cored, and it takes a substantial amount of time to core,
Okay,
No,
a base of some sort,
don't know.
They said it's gone for coring. Is what it is, it's being cored, and we need 2 or 3 of them, and when those arrive, they'll be here to do it.
which didn't affect me, any Pine Way didn't,
And it was far better than it was. I
I
was
get
out
it.
there the other day and that wasn't a bad ride process.
those people aren't complaining in the cemetery.
No, the cemetery, they're not. You have anything else for the business? Okay, I have one thing, and it loops back to code enforcement. I would like to put my hat in the ring for code enforcement. Primarily, it isn't someone that is, on the board. But I had Richard look into it and I can be, but it would involve the rest of you okaying it and as well as the vice chair. Running anything when it comes to code, I would have to get up and move over there.
You think you wanna do that?
I'm trying.
You don't feel so up.
I try to have consistency, I mean, we burn through these people and then to come in and resign on a Sunday.
You think you'd take it?
A lot of money to get people trained, for like, it's nonstop.
We do,
like,
and
Yeah,
I mean, we've been through 4 people in 3 years,
yeah,
or 4
at
people.
least that, since I've been here, like.
We just burn through them, and I think we deserve some consistency and these projects to be
Are you
cleaned up. I don't agree with someone receiving a letter and not a knock on their door. I think there should have been a face-to-face. Now, I can't guarantee that, but I'm certainly here, and I'm not going anywhere.
So you're gonna bond yourself up, so if you quit 6 months, you can give the money back?
I don't see myself quitting. and
You
I'm-
don't?
No.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
He's been on the board long enough to take the.
I remember the last guy was gonna be Superman, he was.
Not like Superman, but
No, we can't move to say that we're cool with that or no? No?
You don't need to.
Okay.
If there's an application and an appointment, maybe he doesn't get hired. If there's an application and an appointment, that's it. I'll bring it in and I'll ask you for confirmation of appointment. And then, there's a couple catches to it.
You can't be his boss.
Yes, I can.
Great,
on that note,
but then you're also his boss. So there's that.
Right, so this is one of those, when it comes to the office of code enforcement officer, no matter what it is, he has to go over there.
Yeah.
And if it comes to an issue with the board that has to do with code, he has to go over there.
Okay.
Obviously, if he and I have an issue, we've never have, I don't think, but if we did, and it came before this board, before one complaint against me, I'm pretty sure I would like to know that it stemmed from the code office. So that's one. Number two is the compensation, so he's not gonna be able to vote on any code office budget. The wage has been set by me, I set that budget, you guys have not set the rates, and so that has. That's the other obstacle, this board said the rate for this is gonna be $20 an hour, and last year he turned it to 21. Wouldn't let it. So. That's where we're at.
so
So do you just need us to nod and, or like anything formal or just like?
I just let me know that you don't have a direct issue with it.
I don't know.
I'll put my application in and for Richard to decide if I'm the best candidate, you know.
You got any others?
I have received some applications for the code office.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, you wouldn't like me.
You're on the road all the time.
You wouldn't like me.
That would take him off the road.
I just wanna see a letter.
Let's go to a boy, whatever you want.
That's all I have for other business. Anything else from the board?
What are we doing about him?
Any applications on?
No, but I mean, replacing him. Anything there?
I hope so.
And so right now, I
Study?
have an offer out, for the sewer operator. The current offer extended transitions the position from an hourly to a salary position. And naturally, it's going to need to have, a more active and involved assistant or redundant entity. So I've reached out to Oliver Associates to see what they have to offer, and the cost of that, or who they might recommend. Or I'll need to go out and hire, somebody to be able to provide backup, to future operator. And Tim is not going anywhere, right?
Right.
And he has some time that he wants off and needs off and whatnot, but he's around and has been, I'll say willing to serve as a backup resource, and obviously his phone rings, Tim will pick it up, and he's done an amazing job of keeping that place.
Amazing.
Well, you go over there, you tell me how many problems we have, and where we've been in a long time.
We don't
You're all
have
sorry.
a bunch of.
They're not, I mean,
So it runs.
I'm a complainer and I don't have one that lived next to it for 17
But
years.
I'm not, even these are bumps, it's not anything you would ever know about, it's stuff that you would know about, and then we go on pages of paper, which is where we were. 10 or 12 years ago, when we were trying to pay Bigelow Hill. That plant runs perfectly, it was all happening at the same time, it was all happening at the same time. It runs as well as it does because Tim maintains and cares about it, and you don't get that very much anymore, so. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting together something to say goodbye, but we'll see you soon, Brian.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you for what
So
you
that
did.
might, hopefully the next meeting we'll have a candidate.
Make sure they've got my number, I guess.
Are you gonna do it?
No, they have to complain about my kids and animals all the time. All right, I'll move to agenda.
Second.
Yep. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody.